thoughts about how your position room has progressed during the last 15 practices?
I told the guys in the position meeting before we came out on the field today that everybody's at a little bit different place in terms of their career, their individual journey. But I did think to a man that the guys that were healthy to compete in the spring, every single one of them got better. And that's the objective, right? I mean, that is the objective of our program on a daily basis is that continual improvement. And I did think that the defensive end group in and of itself made incremental progress through the course of spring. And each one of those guys got better, whether you're talking about, Jared and Pat, who obviously we're counting on to play significant reps, or young guys that just got here in the program. I was pleased with our progression as we went through the spring.
How good was the spring for Byron to finally get 15 successive practices back to back?
I thought it was critical for him, for a variety of different reasons since he's been here. He hasn't had the sustained reps. Having that opportunity kind of present itself this spring, and him taking advantage of it was critical. And I thought he did get better throughout the course of spring. And I thought it showed up in the showcase the other day. I thought he did a really nice job, and I was pleased with how he did.
You obviously have Jared and Patrick, and they've done a lot at this level. Edmund has played a ton of football too. Ideally, going into August, is 4 defensive ends that you can count on the number? I mean, you're probably looking for 8. I don't know, but what should a roster makeup look like?
Yeah,
defensive ends you can count on.
For me, in a perfect world, you want the 5. Really, because you're going to have a 2 deep rotation, but you want that 5th utility guy that has the because you're 1 play away. So I never want it to be so thin where you're at 4 and one thing happens and now you don't have a full 2 deep rotation. Having the 5th guy is critical, and we're still in the process of determining who that's going to be and letting that kind of competition play out.
What did you see from Gilbert?
I thought Gilbert got more confident as the spring went on. Each guy who's transferred in, and we've had obviously a lot of experience with that, has had a little bit different transition. Jermaine from day one was kind of like that alpha personality, jumped right up front, took a leadership role, but really probably on that team, he had to do that. Jared was very similar in the sense that he was outspoken and loud when he came in, but that team did have a little bit more veteran to it, so he wasn't a leader right off the bat. I think Gilbert walked in and saw, man, this is a group that has some experience, and I think early on he was trying to figure out how exactly he fit in the big picture equation. As he got more confident and as he got more comfortable, I saw him play faster throughout the course of spring, and I really just think his best ball is ahead of him. That was part of our exit meeting discussion was, okay, I think this spring was a great opportunity to see exactly where we're at, and then now we know what we need to do to take your game to another level. And I fully expect for him to do it because he's capable and he has the skill set.
We all see Jared's energy, but is he doing a lot to help, not just put it out there, but put forward into the younger guys? And you're seeing that from him.
He really has. That was one of the things I have been most pleased about. I think it's easy to see his progression on the field. I thought he improved as a player this spring, but where I thought he made his most growth was in the meeting rooms. I think he has a much better understanding of the position, and I think when you do have that confidence that you understand, your willingness to help others and kind of be thrust into that role that is a leadership role, it just becomes part of what he's trying to leave a legacy of here, much like the guys that came before him. And I did see that leadership piece come out in him. One of the guys I know he's kind of directly taken under his wings is Lamont Green. Boots. Because I think Jared sees a little bit of Boots in him from the standpoint that he's was a smaller guy but really athletic coming in, and Jared went through that as a young player, and now he's trying to help other guys in that same situation.
The next time you guys are all out here, is it an expectation that Jaden will be good to go, or is it more hoping he'll be ready?
No, it's an expectation from the standpoint if he stays on track with all of his rehabilitation and everything that our trainers have him doing. We're getting closer to him coming back. I don't have a specific date or deadline, but it should be by the time we get back on the field in the summer.
Can you project? I mean, can you look at his film and what you guys like to do and have an idea if he could be somebody that can be part of that 5 deep?
Yeah, his athleticism and his understanding of what we do is there. You know, that won't be the question. The question will be more just the application of the scheme, and then the physicality at this level is a little bit different. So, you know, there will be a transition period for him, but I fully expect him to be one of the guys competing to be in that top 5 group.
What did you, like, just reflecting on Boots, like, from what you recruited, the player you recruited versus what you saw, you just talked about, sometimes you see him show some strength out there sometimes that you might, and
You know,
speed.
he has a great, I think the best way to say it is a love for this place and a toughness and a desire and a want to. That even though he's a young guy that should still be in high school, you know, with his other classmates, he comes out here and he competed and battled. And I think that even though he didn't win all the battles, that's going to pay a dividend going forward for him, because I think he's one of those guys that when he gets a little bit bigger, when he gets a little bit stronger, and the light kind of clicks for him, he's going to make a really big jump really fast. I told him today in our meeting, you know, he's one of those guys that 2 years from now, we're going to joke about that first spring and how he was going through it all for the first time, when, you know, he's kind of turns into a man while he's here. And I was really pleased with what he was able to do. It's all new to him, but he attacked it every day, and I think that kind of mindset, coupled with his ability, is going to lead to success.
How close is Dante Anderson to kind of being a contributor? I mean, we see his speed out there racing Coach Norvell.
Yeah. No, Dante is one of the guys I thought who made as much improvement as anybody. You know, if you went from where he was a year ago at this time to where he is now, it's pretty dramatic in terms of the level of improvement in all areas. Just his on the field fundamentals, his understanding of the defense, his physical strength. You know, really anything any box that you could check, he got better at. So my message to him is continue that, because, you know, if we continue to make the progress that we made from last year to this year to next fall or to the next spring, watch out, because he's gonna be a good player for us.
What are the kickers do now between now and camp?
You know, they're going to have their time where they're still going to work as a unit. You know, I want them to get a little bit of rest and away from here. They all kind of have their individual coaches that they like to go to, which I'm not against at all, because, you know, there's a comfort factor that goes along with that. And they're going to come back and they're going to be ready to go with the rest of the unit for our summer workouts. But up until between now and then, they're going to continue to get their work, but it's going to be on a voluntary basis. But they're going to stay sharp. But I do want them to get a little bit of rest, you know, going into what's going to be a pretty good grind in the summer.
If you don't, it's probably hard to know for sure when Mike is going to be 100%. So when it comes to the return game, are there things that guys can work on between now and camp, or is it just wait till camp?
No, they'll catch balls, and you know, the great thing is rules have kind of evolved and changed a little bit. When we get to have those summer workouts, you know, there will be opportunities for them to catch balls, and, you know, sometimes those will be supervised and coached, and other times those won't be. But you know, we'll have opportunities for them to continue to work, because we're going to need it. You know, even if Micah is 100% good to go on the first day of training camp, we still need other guys that are prepared to do it. So that development is going to continue.
What kind of flexibility is Winston Wright giving you?
You know, having Winston back is awesome. I mean, I think it's a great story in and of itself, just what he's had to go through the last year. But, you know, with his experience and his proven explosiveness as a returner, having him back there certainly adds to a group of guys that are very talented.
How do you assess the performance from Ryan and Tyler this week?
I thought consistent, and the other thing I thought was resilient. Each one of them had one day through the course of spring where I thought they weren't at their best, and in both cases the next day was a really, really good day. So I thought the competition was good. You know, the plan is, you know, more than likely to continue that competition. moving forward and allowing them to battle it out. But I thought both guys had a very solid spring.
Bishop Thomas has done some cross training at defensive end during the spring. What kind of signs have you seen from him? Because he ran to the outside.
Yeah, we're trying to find ways to get the best 11 on the field and every group. And we have a lot of depth at defensive tackle, and he is a unique athlete that can do a lot of different things. So we are trying to train as many guys as we possibly can that kind of fit that cross train role. And he's done a fairly good job with the opportunities that he's had.
Did you know you always wanted Van Dravius out there returning punts, or was it after a few weeks of seeing him play, you're like, I could use you over here, buddy?
A little bit of both. You could see his elite explosiveness and change of direction through some of the off-season stuff, even before we started spring ball. And he's one of those guys, if you get him to consistently be confident in catching punts, he could be dangerous. He's an explosive player, and he's a really talented young guy.
You mentioned the depth inside. How much does it help to have guys like Braden Fisk and Dennis Briggs who have played some defensive end during their college careers?
It's huge. because at the end of the day, we're going to find ways to get our best 4 defensive linemen on the field. And if that means kind of guys have to cross-train and some situational stuff, we always have talked about like our rabbit package as being something that was important to us, which was essentially 3 defensive ends on the field on 3rd down. There might be opportunities on rundown to get a 3rd defensive tackle on the field or whatever may present itself, just because we do have some depth and some flexibility with those guys that are kind of hybrid type players that have played both before. So, I'm sure we'll be creative in terms of how we use our personnel, and there's a lot of talent in the room, which is a good thing. But we got to find roles and opportunities for them all to be successful.